Hello, friends. I wanted to share some words with you all, hopefully words of comfort during a difficult time. It's a challenging time for many of us with things that are going on in the world, and particularly things are going on in Ukraine and, great suffering that's taking place and conflict over there. And these are just my feelings and my thoughts personally. And I guess the first thing that comes up for me is, that statement, well-known statement, that the first casualty of war is always the truth. And I was thinking about that, and I thought to myself, for me, the first casualty of war is love. And, whenever you put love at the bottom of your list, whenever humans do that, and when war breaks out, that is the case, that the very last thing on the bottom of the list of priorities is love. Whenever you do that, whenever humans do that, it spells disaster for everyone. I mean, everyone loses out. Everyone. Because love is actually at the core of all things. And so when you lose sight of that, then a price is paid. Always. We know this. We've seen it over and over and over and over again. And what I want to share with you is that love, even though you may put it to the bottom of the list for a time, like trying to hold a basketball underwater, you can't do it for very long. You just can't. It just flies back up again because that's where it belongs. It has that buoyancy in it. Or you might say it comes back to the center. So you push love out to the periphery of your life. But it just flies back towards the center because it lives in the center. All the energy that gathers around and through love is the center of creation. It is the center of being. It's the center of everything. It's an unstoppable force. It's like optimism. Optimism is the energy, the outward energy of love. It's like the periphery of love. And optimism can't be quashed. It can't. It always comes back. So when the human spirit finds itself and remembers itself again, optimism is the result. Creative optimism. That we can resolve anything together. And that things will get better. And the other aspect of human love is togetherness. Togetherness, unification. That's the nature of love working in the world. It brings us together. It does the opposite of pulling us apart. And that can't be overcome either. It can temporarily be pushed or put on hold, but it just flies back. It's unquenchable. It's spring. Spring will keep on coming. It will keep on and on and on coming because life is spring. Life is constant spring and rebirth. So sometimes, when evolution seems to take a step backwards, often later on it's revealed to actually be a step forwards. But this is not easy to see at the time. Because what it does is it reveals how far we've come. Because it reveals, for instance, in the current situation, reveals that our level of tolerance for a destructive atmosphere, for destruction, has become much less. We've grown used to peace more and more. If you look at the evolution of human consciousness. And so we are much less tolerant now of things like war. And this is an incredible, this is actually an uplift even though right now it doesn't feel like that. And so these can be times where we see more, and we learn more. And through the suffering and the conflict and things, when it ends, when it comes to an end, which it will, we get to see that actually we're moving forwards, even when it feels like we've taken a step backwards, and old forces and old energies kind of trying to have their last kind of final death throes as the new is born, as a new kind of possibility is arising in our world and continuing to arise and grow in the hearts of humans and in our world. And the other side of it is us as individuals. What happens inside us as individuals at such times. Some of us are right in the core of it. Others are further away geographically and in our consciousness. But during times of conflict and difficulty, that is the best time to make friends with one's soul, to contact the deep love and light of the soul, of the eternal soul. So this is an opportunity to deepen that connection. And when we deepen that connection, we intensify our sense of purpose, our higher purpose. It gives us more clarity about what we're really here for. It gives us more clarity of how we can be of service. And so a lot of this is about the fear of death as an individual. For individuals, we have to look into that fear of death that we hold. And it's an opportunity for us to transfigure that fear of death. And if we manage to overcome that fear of death inside ourselves, then we no longer need to fear anything, ever. Because if you've overcome the fear of death, you don't need to fear those forces. You don't need to fear anything. So that's an opportunity for each and every one of us to deepen the level of soul connection. At such times as this, it's important to harness like these energies of the soul, to see that there are opportunities even in very difficult times. And of course, we all send out our prayers as well. We can send out our prayers for everyone caught up in this conflict, and the sacrifices that are being made, all around. And, the power of prayer is also unquenchable, and even though you can't see the results of that prayer, a heart that releases a selfless prayer out into the cosmos, that's a powerful, powerful thing. I had this experience of talking to some indigenous elders in this last year, and from different places around the world, and they all, with their incredible wisdom and clarity and connection to the earth, they all, without a single exception, spoke to me about the power of prayer, and it really, really kind of cut deep in my soul. So please, this is a powerful time to say powerful prayers, and to say them or speak them inside your heart and let them fly out into the cosmos. So my love to all of you, and to all around the world, friends, and even friends who we don't know yet. I hope that these words are in some way helpful, and blessings to you all.